Hi everyone. In the previous parts of chemotherapy, we had gone with the general features of chemotherapeutic agents and mechanism of chemotherapeutic agents, and we also had seen the in detail mode of action of sulfa drugs or sulfonamides. In this video, we are going to discuss about the mode of action of penicillins. So before getting into the mode of action, let's have a glance of introduction to the penicillin. As we all know that the penicillin was discovered by Mr. Alexander Fleming, who was the first one to isolate this penicillin, which was produced by Penicillium notatum. It's a fungi. And later on, Florey and his associate at Oxford University isolated the active ingredient that is present in this fungi, and they used that crude metal clinically, that means in the treatment of diseases or infections in the year 1940. So that's how Alexander Fleming and his associates of Florey got the Nobel Prize for this discovery of wonder drug, which is called as penicillin. Now here in the picture you can see this is a Penicillium colony, and which is inhibiting some sort of a inhibition zone is going to be seen where the bacteria did not grow. So this is a Penicillium notatum microscopic picture, and this is the structure of penicillin. So penicillin is produced by different molds like as Penicillium notatum, Penicillium chrysogenum, and also being produced by other species of Penicillium. Penicillium notatum produces the naturally occurring agent called penicillin G or benzyl penicillin. And the Penicillium chrysogenum, another species, produces 6-amino-penicillanic acid, which is a raw material for synthesizing some semi-synthetic penicillins. Then coming to the structure of penicillin, so penicillin G or benzyl penicillin is a first beta-lactam antibiotic to be used in medicine, has the typical structural features of the penicillin family. So basically, the penicillin molecule consists of three parts. How many parts? Three parts. The first part is going to be called as thioazolidine ring, and the second part is called as beta-lactam ring, which is very important in the activity of penicillin drug, and the acyl side chain or the variable side chain. So this is the main thing, that it consists of three parts. One is the thioacetylene ring, or second one is beta-lactam, and the third one is acyl side chain. So basically, we can also classify this penicillin structure consisting of mainly one major nucleus containing of these two rings, that is beta-lactam ring, and this is the beta-lactam ring, the blue color one, and this is the thioacetylene ring. So these two together we can call it as a nucleus of the penicillin structure. Okay, and this whole thing is going to be called as 6-amino pimelic acid. That means the thioacetylene ring, beta-lactam ring, up to here it is going to be called as 6-amino penicillanic acid. This in this one, as I told you, beta-lactam ring and thioacetylene ring together is going to be called as a major nucleus of the penicillin. The beta-lactam ring is very crucial for the activity of penicillin, and the side chain of this beta-lactam ring varies in different penicillins. For example, here if it is going to be of some other benzyl structure, then we call it as benzyl penicillin. Suppose if we are having any phenoxymethyl, then we call it as penicillin V. In the same manner, if you are having the N-pentenyl, then we call it as N-pentenyl penicillin structure. So this is a position where getting differed from one penicillin type to another type. And at present, through modification of this penicillin G structure by chemical synthesis method, a number of semi-synthetic penicillins varying properties are produced. For example, take the ampicillin and carbonicillin or semi-synthetic penicillins. We have read what is meant by semi-synthetic. So they are just modified from the natural one, are going to be called as semi-synthetic, that are having a broader spectrum of antibiotic activity. Basically, penicillin is a narrow spectrum antibiotic, but if they are going to have any modification making it as a semi-synthetic penicillin, they are going to have a broader spectrum of antibiotic activity. The structural difference in the N-acyl group, that is this one, of these semi-synthetic penicillins allow them to be transported inside the gram-negative cell envelope where they inhibit the cell wall synthesis. So let's see the mode of action of uh, penicillin. So before that, just have a glance of different penicillin drugs which are just more differing at the side chains on the thing. So here you can see the penicillin. So here is a beta lactam ring, okay, and this is a thiazole ring, and this is the acyl group. So if you see, this is a penicillin G, and here where the benzyl penicillin it is, and then penicillin V where it is having the phenoxymethyl penicillin, and then we are having the penicillin F. So here is a ampicillin and amoxicillin and methicillin. So these are just having a spectrum of both. That means they are having more activity both on gram positive and a few gram negative, and it is similar to penicillin G. And here ampicillin is going to have a G that is gram positive and more gram negative than the penicillin, and it is also having the same activity like a penicillin, that is amoxicillin is also having the same activity like a ampicillin. And here methicillin acts only on gram positive only, including some sort of beta lactamase producers also. So this is route out for administration. That is how this penicillin is going to be intaken. Parenteral route and penicillin V by oral. Why, I will tell you now in the next slide. Okay, so these are all the different structures of different beta lactam antibiotics. Then moving to the mode of action. So penicillins are potent inhibitors of cell wall synthesis. So look at the picture very carefully, then you'll come to know the mechanism how the penicillins are going to obstruct the growth of bacteria, especially the gram-positive bacteria. In a bacterial cell wall biosynthesis, transpeptidation reaction is an important one. We know that the bacteria contains a peptidoglycan layer, isn't it? So which is going to have an alternate units of NAM and NAG. What is meant by NAM? N-acetyl acid, and NAG means N-acetyl glucose amine. So these are the layers of alternative units of the peptidoglycan layer, and the two layers of peptidoglycan layer are going to be joined by the transpeptidization. So these are all the amino acids, and these are the transpeptidization. So where these are going to be linked. Now here is a place where this is going to affect. So this whatever the penicillin that we are having is going to react at the transpeptidization reaction. It involves the cross-linking of two glycan linker peptides, as I told you. So here is one glycan peptide ring and this is another one. So it involves in the link. Now, the enzyme transpeptidase that brings about the transpeptidation are capable of binding to the penicillin binding proteins, that is PBP. So now here you can see the transpeptidization is going to be attached by the penicillin binding proteins. As once this PBC binds very tightly to the penicillin, they no longer catalyze the transpeptidation reaction. So you can see here there is no transpeptidation reaction. The cell wall continues to be formed, that means the peptidoglycan layer continues to be formed, but no longer they are going to be cross-linked and becomes progressively weaker as the peptidoglycan backbone is laid down. For example, if we are not going to keep the cement in between the bricks, it is not going to be holded as a strong agent. In the same manner, this penicillin binding proteins are not allowing the cement to be present in between the bricks. So that's how what happens. The wall is going to be weak. When you're just putting throw, the whole wall will collapse. In the same manner, here the peptidoglycan layers are not going to have this cementing bond, that is a transpeptidation bond, because of the binding of this penicillin. So the antibiotic penicillin binding proteins complex also stimulate the release of some autolysins that digest the existing cell wall, okay, this cell wall, and that results the weaken, eventually degrade the cell wall. So obviously it will degrade the whole cell wall. And in normal circumstances, the osmotic pressure differences inside the cell as compared to the outside the cell. So obviously there will be pore formation of the porins which will burst because of the inflow of more, and that leads to the lysis of the cell. So as the bacterial cell wall structure is specific, penicillins are not toxic to the host cell. Why? Because we don't have this peptidoglycan layer. So our penicillin, that means our penicillin drug is going to act mainly on this one, which is not present in the host cell. So that's how we are, these penicillins are not going to be toxic to the host. But there are some exceptions that I will tell you at last. Okay, so this is all about the mode of action of penicillin, where it is going to be mainly involved in inhibiting the cell wall biosynthesis. Now coming to the applications of the penicillin, penicillin G is effective against certain diseases like gonococci, meningococci, and several gram-positive pathogens such as strepto and staphylo. And administration, I told you parenteral means they are going to be of IV or intramuscular or SC. And they're also going to be taken as sublingual inhalation or the oral. So the penicillin V is going to be of more acid resistant and can be given orally. But the penicillin G can be administered only through the parenteral because it is destroyed by stomach acid. And then coming to the other, this one, that is antibiotics which are inhibiting the cell wall, that is ampicillin, carbamazepine, and tiracycline, are also acting as a broad spectrum antibiotics and particularly potent against pseudomonas and proteus diseases. Okay, then moving to the some of the side effects. That means although these penicillins are rarely toxic in human patients, it may give rise to certain sensitive reactions which vary from a mild skin rashes to a severe anaphylaxis. So therefore, patients should be questioned about penicillin allergies before treatment is began. So these are all some adverse effects of penicillin intake. You may feel of nausea, dizziness, some, this is a major symptom, skin rashes, fever, bronchospasms, and angioedema, diarrhea, headache. So these are all some of the adverse effects of penicillin. Okay, so this is all about the mode of action of penicillin, which is going to be acting as an important drug in the treatment of some of the infectious diseases. So with this, we have finished our chemotherapy topic in detail. Thank you.